So Amala brought Bayo home. Her parents were happy because it was the first time she had ever brought a man to meet them. For one main reason, she was already 43 years old, and Mrs. Peters had been very worried about her. Bayo was welcomed with open arms, and they were very happy for them. But when Bayo left, Olodi confronted her elder sister Bayo, Bayo of all men in this world, Bayo, Samuel's friend. "Did you tell your parents that Bayo is Samuel's friend?" she asked angrily. Amalala replied, "You need to calm down, Alaladi. You don't have to be rude to pass your message. I know you're going through a lot, but you must calm down before you speak," she pleaded. But Alaladi ignored her and continued rudely. "Are you not ashamed of yourself? Bayo is just 37 years old, Samuel's age mate. You are 6 years older. Are you so desperate that you can't see clearly anymore?" Amalala cut in. "I will not stay here and allow you talk to me this way." With that, she walked out angrily. But it wasn't only Alaladi who had issues with Amalala and Bayo's relationship. In fact, Khalad and Olawale, the other two brothers, felt the same way. When Mr. and Mrs. Peters also learned the truth about who Bayo was, they felt Amalala was not making the right decision, especially considering the age difference. The worst part was Bayo's mother, Mrs. Arowo, a widow with 3 children. Bayo was her only son and her last child, a 43-year-old woman. What do you want with her? Is it because of her money? Isn't she old enough to be your mother? Mrs. Arowo asked. Bayo replied calmly, "A 6-year difference doesn't make her old enough to be my mother, Mum. I'm not after any money. I'm not poor. I love her and I want to marry her." But Mrs. Araolo refused completely. "Never. Not while I'm alive." What happened to all the young girls out there? You think I will accept that old woman as my Lenla? You better rethink this. Bayo never relented. He kept sending family members who understood him to speak to his mother. On the other side, Amalala also tried her best to convince her own family. A year later, Bayo and Amalala got married. After their marriage, the first person to visit them was Mrs. Arowolo. Amalala opened the door and welcomed her in. When she sat down, Amalala called out, "Baby, baby, Mum is here." Mrs. Araolo replied sharply, "So your husband is now your baby?" Amala turned to look at her. "Everyone should know you're old enough to be his mother." "What is the meaning of calling him baby?" she asked. "No, Mum," Amalala said gently. "Baby is just a pet name." Just then, Bayo walked in. Later that evening, Bayo told Amalola to stop calling him baby. "But I thought we agreed to use pet names," she said. "I don't want that anymore." "Please find another name," he insisted. Amala knew this was coming from his mother's influence, but she chose not to argue and simply agreed. One Saturday morning, they visited Bayo's elder sister, Mama Abiji, Mrs. Arowolo's first child. "You can sit down here while the children are in the kitchen preparing the food you and your husband will eat. If you control your husband, do that in your house." "Not here," Mama Abiji said harshly, instructing Amalala to join the children in the kitchen. Amalala felt hurt. It was her first visit after their wedding, and she had expected to be treated like a guest. She felt even worse seeing Bayo pretend nothing had happened. Slowly and sadly, she stood up and went to the kitchen. When they got home, she told Bayo she didn't like the way his sister spoke to her. "This is just a few weeks into our marriage, Lola, and you complain about my family a lot," Bayo said. "Can't you just be calm and try to understand them? What's so bad about helping in the kitchen?" "Not the way she said it," Amalola replied. "It was disrespectful. How did you want her to say it? Kneel down and beg you," he snapped. Amalala felt sad but kept quiet. Their apartment was only 2 streets away from Bayo's mother's house. Amala noticed that Bayo visited his mother almost every day. On weekdays, he stopped by after work and stayed 1 or 2 hours. On weekends, he spent 2 to 3 hours there, leaving Amalala alone at home. One Sunday evening, when he returned, she said, "Bayo, you're married now. There should be limits to these visits. You don't need to go there every day. It doesn't make sense. So, because I married you, I should stop seeing my mother?" he asked. "That's not what I mean," she said softly. "Your wife needs your time and attention too." "Which wife?" "The one I live with." "Don't I sleep at home?" he replied angrily. "You can't separate a mother and her child. I'm her only son. Please don't make me think you re one of those wicked wives who hate their mothers-in-law." Amalala took a deep breath and kept quiet.